Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Dario here with another Options and Play video update. Thanks to all of you that stuck around yesterday for our option session. We talked about a lot of stuff as usual. However, one of the topics we spent a little bit longer going over was the idea of really trying to like maximize winners in a tape where a lot of things are moving quite a bit, right? Because sometimes there's a lot of action, and sometimes the market's a little bit quieter, a little bit tighter, right? There's not as many things moving around. Right now, there's a lot of stuff moving around. There's a lot of big moves out there. So trying to like maximize winners when you're in a tape like this. At the same time, being smart, right? Being smart about it. Like still following your rules, still having your stop losses, still managing trades like on the options when they're moving in your favor, right? Locking in and rolling up. And one of the things we talked about was the idea of, when does the stock start to get too extended, right? And when is like a trade, to the point where you need to be looking to get out or really start to scale back, right? And for me, a lot of that revolves around the ADMA, right? Because the ADMA, which is the green line here, that's like the momentum moving average. That sets up a lot of trades for me if I'm looking for fast setups. So whether that's like stocks that are, the slope is starting to steepen, like Forbes, I'll talk about in a second, right? Or after earnings, if we get like a big gap up, a big gap down, what I'm waiting for is that ADMA to catch up and really set like the floor, set the ceiling, and start to turn in the stock for another leg in whatever direction it moved. Okay, so for me, a stock starts to get too extended when it really starts to move significantly above the ADMA. All right. And it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to pull back immediately. However, it just means that it's really starting to get extended, right? It's starting to accelerate. Maybe it's starting to get a little bit ahead of itself, and it could use a pause, consolidation, or maybe even like a pullback, right? So when I'm in a swing trade, or even if it's like an earnings trade, right? And I'm seeing the stock really starting to get extended past or above this ADMA, that's the point where I want to be more active locking in gains or reducing risk, right? So whether that's taking the trade off, if like the thesis has totally played out, right? If everything that I wanted to happen has happened, then that might be a point where, if the stock really starts to extend past the ADMA, all right, I'm going to close out, wait for a pause, consolidation, pullback, etc., and then I could maybe revisit, right? Or if it's something where I think, okay, it's doing exactly what I wanted, it's just getting a little bit extended in the near term, then maybe I'm rolling up, right? Maybe I'm closing those options, rolling up to some higher strike contracts. Maybe if I'm in straight calls, I'm turning it into to call spreads, right? But I use the AEMA as really like a basis or measuring stick for how extended a stock might be in like the short term, right? So when it comes down to like a fast tape like we're in, you want to make sure you're locking in money, but also sticking with trades, right? For me, and I feel like there probably are a handful of people that have like their own rules, but for me, right, like it's the ADMA, it's the fast moving averages, also RSI, which is more of like a technical reading. I mean, it's when I've talked about in the past, but if the RSI gets above 90 on the bull side, it's overbought. If it gets below 20 on the bear side, oversold. Those are also be like indications to me that I need to be a lot more active, like scaling back. Okay, but it's a good problem to have. I mean, when a position's moving in your favor really dramatically or really sharply, I mean that's a good problem. But again, I mean, like everything in trading, it comes down to being smart, managing your trades properly, having like rules in place that you follow. So when things are going well, you're making sure you're taking like a good chunk of change out of the trade. Okay. So, if you like this video and you're looking for more information about managing options or swing trading with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night. Best of luck if you're playing any earnings. Stay well, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.